This segment, maybe I should just be in terms of black models. Are they being left out? Some, you know, we're just trying to get some ideas, some opinions here. We got this off the YouTube network, and this is a part of the discourse of fashion. Fashion is made up of many attributes. There's sales, the glamour, the glim and glitter, but also some of these discussions about labor, about models, etc. So I'm here now with 6 students, and we just watched the YouTube video, Fashion Industry Phase 2. Now we're going to discuss that, and the point of discussion is just to look at it from different perspectives, so that we can somehow see how this could impact our careers or not. Most of these young people here are going to be fashion designers and fashion merchandisers, so they're going to use all types of models. So maybe this is something that they haven't even considered. You know, well, I didn't know I had a problem selecting this type or the other. I didn't think this was going to impact my sales, etc. So this is their chance to kind of air their thoughts on this issue.
They don't use like a lot of Hispanic models and African American models because their proportions are not correct. Because they may have a lot of hips or a lot of busts. That's why.
Okay.
Or because they don't have a lot of models.
Okay, so your opinion is the reason behind it is the proportions, and not has nothing to do with color.
Yeah, totally so.
Okay.
No, she's saying that. Notice one of the things that we're saying right there about the way they do the illustrations. They're not as taken from actually real life human being. They're taking it from actually as creative somehow, and not from actually as like supposedly measurements for different kinds of humans.
Right. So what, I don't get the point.
No, the point is that I'm saying there's different humans that have different proportions.
Right.
And they take it from the point of just the illustration, not put it in fact that there's different like heights, sizes.
Okay. So you're saying the reason they don't use black models is because the body measurements?
Yeah.
So that's
they're being like stereotype, like she said, they're being closed-minded. They're not being open to different cultures, diversities.
Okay.
And that lacks a lot.
And so the real inequality is not so much color, but size. That's where it comes from. They're because they have the problem with their body.
Yeah, like
the disproportionate body measurements.
Like it would take more time to change a garment just because the model is too big or is too small. Just get another model.
The fact that sometimes they narrow it down to more perhaps skin color in terms of that issue. I think that when you look at a runway and you look at the model, they represent the essence of power. They have the power of the dress.
Right.
So whoever you put in the man of the dress that you're selling, or the garment that you're selling, she's the one representing that company in that instant, in that moment in time. So she's white. I guess the stereotypical format of looking at it is that, oh, you know, that's a woman in power of that company. Now, if you put a short, fat person, you're showing that anybody could wear that.
Right.
Now, when you're talking about the weight issue, skinny represents discipline. That's why most artists, most athletes, most figures in, most people in power, they are skinny. Even the president, Obama, he's in shape. They show some pictures when he was in the beach report.
Right.
So I think that affects a lot how we see things. So if you see someone skinny, like for example a model, a male model, you see him cut up, you know, showing his six-pack or whatever, and he's walking down the runway modeling some shorts, you might get the perception of like, oh, if I buy those shorts, I might look like him.
Right.
Regardless that is not true, but that's what nature does to you. You look at it and you're like, oh, that's appealing.
I see.
It looks appealing, so you might see yourself in that, you know?
Or you mean most likely what society makes or trying to do to you.
No, but that's nature though. That's what nature is. Nature makes you believe that. You perceive things that way. When you go buy a car, you're thinking, you know, with this car, I might attract this type of girl. You know, if it's not the money issue, you might consider a Jaguar instead of a Honda because you know you see the power behind it. The same thing with a suit. It's not the same. You know, comparing you know, a Dolce & Gabbana with perhaps a more lower end.
Is that fashion, before it gets to us, before it gets to the mass area, it's looked upon as luxury. Like fashion done runway is luxury fashion. And I think that the way that society is, I don't believe it, but the way that society is, like you were saying, with the hierarchy power, it's the white man first. It's always like, that's just how it is with society.
It has been implied. I'm sorry.
And I just think that that's, before it gets to the rest of society, and it's looked at as, oh, you're white, you're slim, you're this, you're that, you know? So it's just, I just think that's the way it is.
You accept it?
No, of course not.
It has been applied in the system. It's like, and it has been towards, I mean, from saying thousands of years. And it's just when you create a system for a long time already, is that I implied this, and like a mass group starts seeing a perspective where it keeps passing to generations to the point that it limits the way of thinking outside the box, and letting other people grow individually as share ideas and diversity. And that's a problem that's happened in every aspect, as political, as in economics, everything that's going on right now.
That's a good point.
I think it's also a big fear too. Like to be the first with anything is really fearful. So if you were to just have all black models, it's a fear for people. Like maybe you wouldn't sell as much or things like that. So you stick to what's going on now. And I also think that oh shucks. Like also people look at, even with me being dark skinned, like it's just like people are like looked upon that more light skin is more beauty too.
That's interesting. Really, really good. And I think what you guys are saying is that it's more of a system that's been happening for so long that it just keeps turning, and it gets unchecked. But let me say this as an older person, you guys, I think that it's more aggravating for me to see it because we endured it longer, and you guys seem that you were born into it. So you don't really notice it as much, I think, because it's just like you said, it's been there so all your life that you just, like for example, you're just gonna buy the Louis Vuitton, you're just gonna buy the line of clothing. You're not gonna think about they didn't use the black model or not. It's just, you see what I mean? It gets to the point it doesn't matter that they didn't use the black model. Even though I'm black, it doesn't matter that they didn't use them or not. I want the product because all my friends have it. So I think these things keep happening because they do kind of go unchecked because we as consumers, we don't say anything because it's like we said, it's just the way it is.